Dan and Amy, so every now and again we check in on the financial state of affairs in Illinois, particularly vis-a-vis the rest of the nation, to make sure we're still the worst example and there's been no market improvement. And to help us do that, we're joined by Sheila Weinberg, who's the founder and CEO of Truth in Accounting. Now, I'm on the board of Truth in Accounting, which is a nonprofit, so you can factor that in to our discussion however you so choose. But Truth in Accounting is out with a new report that I had nothing to do with. Their annual financial state of the states, which ranks all 50 states by their financial health and categorizes the worst actors as sinkhole states and the best actors as sunshine states. And Sheila Weinberg, thanks for joining us. Where does Illinois fall? Are we a sinkhole state again?
We're a sinkhole state. The good news is New Jersey and Connecticut are still worse than we are, but we're right up there, the third worst state in the nation.
I find that hard to believe with our unfunded pension liabilities that we're only third worst. I would think we're worst.
Yeah, well, we do it per taxpayer, so those other states have a few less taxpayers than we do. So we have a total of $187 billion of unfunded bills, including those pensions.
But isn't Illinois still hiding billions of dollars in pension debt and retirement debt? And what does that total come to?
Yeah, it's amazing that the government did have to start putting their pension liability finally on their balance sheet, but they're still hiding $8.1 billion of it, and they're hiding $32.3 billion of their retiree health care benefits.
And so, these billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, they're kind of unfathomable numbers. So drill this down to kind of like a per taxpayer number that people can comprehend.
Well, each taxpayer needs to send $45,500 to Springfield, and then we have to clear it up the bills that we've accumulated to date.
No, not each. That's each taxpayer, not each family. So a family of four, you're talking about $180,000.
No, that is each taxpayer, which would be about approximately each household.
Each household is.
All right. So Dan, will you cover for me?
Yeah,
and Peyton and Eli, will you help us out?
I'll write a check for $90 to cover the Jacobson household as well. No problem. Happy to do it because I know how well it will be spent on my behalf.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it amazes me that they've accumulated this debt, but they continually say, "Hey, we've lived up to that balanced budget requirement."
Well, and so how there was a recent ratcheting down of the expected return on investment. With the teachers' pension fund that added, billions more to the annual payment that needs to be made, at least legally. If we move that down in these other pension funds from 7.5% expected rate of return to something that is more realistic with respect to the market, you move it down a percentage point or two, then you really start to see these things explode and these numbers multiply.
Yeah, and it's amazing, that they still think that they can earn, 7.5%, 8%. They say over the last 30 years they have done that, but I suspect that probably is not going to be the case over the next 30 years.
So how are taxpayers going to suffer from this? Is it through higher interest rates or what?
Well, the biggest thing that they suffer from is currently it's not what future higher interest rates for roads we found, but it's that we can't hold our elected officials accountable because again they're claiming these balanced budgets, but they're actually spending more than they're receiving in taxes. So the taxpayers really aren't getting a feel for how much government really costs because they're not paying for the government they're getting because the costs are being hidden.
And so the states that are on the other end, we know that New Jersey, Connecticut, Illinois, Kentucky, Massachusetts are on the wrong end. What are the states on the right end, and what are they doing that the sinkhole states like us are not doing?
Well, Alaska is our best state. They actually have a taxpayer surplus of $52,600. Then there's North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and Nebraska, our top sunshine states versus the sinkhole state that Illinois is. And obviously those are, have a lot of natural resources, but they tend to do something unusual, which is they really balance their budget. So they only spend what the taxpayers are willing to give them.
That's
And it's great because
revolutionary.
they pay you to live there. And if you have 4 kids, then you get $4,000.
Well, maybe the Palin family has some room to rent for us, and we can broadcast the show from Ice Station Zebra up there in Juneau or something. Sheila Weinberg, founder and CEO of Truth in Accounting, thanks so much for joining us and giving the update on Illinois' financial condition. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.